So, in passages 1 through 3 of the Aeneid, of our selections of the Aeneid, Turnus has pushed the enemy to the furthest extreme ends of the battlefield. He and his horsemen are exhausted from the effort, and suddenly, from behind him, he hears a noise that fills him with panic and with dread. He hears his own city falling under attack. How did this happen? Where did these people come from? Passages 4 through 5, what we're going to do next, is some advice he gets from his sister Juturna. All right, so here we got passage 4. Atque huic in faciem soror ut conversa metiski, aurigae curumque et equus et lora regebat, talibus accura dictis, hac turne sequamur toriugenas, qua prima viam victoria pandit. So, dactylic hexameter, the first thing I see in the very first words here is an elision. Remember, this H, as far as we're concerned, it's not a consonant, it's just a breath. So at quick. At. And then we have, what happens with quick? Well, this UI here is a diphthong, quick. Look at all these letters in here. Troiugenas. I don't have anything in here that can be a diphthong. So what do I have? Do I have 3 syllables in here? Is it troiugenas? No. Remember, what do we call these people in English? We call them Trojans. Where did that J come from? It's a consonant. So troiugenas. So that's right. Just like with Jupiter turns into Jupiter, Juvenescence turns into juvenile. We've seen this before. So let's do it. Go up to the beginning. At quick in faciem soror ut conversa metiski, aurigae curum queta quos et lora regebat, talibus ocurit dictis hac turne sequamur projugenas qua prima viam victoria pandit. Now, obviously, I'm not going to actually say it in a monotone when I read this out loud. It's just to get the meter. Part 2, let's go ahead and look through all these words, nouns, verbs, participles, any little adverbs that we have going on here. All those little things that we need to identify before we really can start making sense of this translation. So as I always do, I like to look for verbs first, kind of find them the easiest to find. Atque huic in faciem soror ut conversa. Oh, well, conversa kind of looks like it must come, kind of sounds like it comes from the verb turn, to change, but it doesn't look like it's a verb. So I'll come back to that. It might be a participle, but I might have to look. Regebat is, curit is, sequamur is, and pundit is. So, in fact, it is. Conversa does come from a verb. It's just being used as a participle here. So, having been turned, having been changed. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go word for word and see if I can identify anything. There are some things I might have to come back to later, depending on what the notes say. And as always, I have my notes with me. I don't have them on the screen, just because I don't. So, atque, well, that's an adverb. And so, huic, oh, I know huic. That's a demonstrative pronoun, and it's one of the weird ones, so I know it's dative. In faciem, I know that word. Faciem is clearly an accusative. Soror, that means sister. That's her nominative form. Ut, got a little adverb here. Conversa. Well, conversa looks like it might. The sister having been changed, having been turned. Metiski. Okay, well, this is a name I don't know, but if I look at my notes, I see that it comes from a name, Metiscus, who happens to be a second declension. So he's a warrior, he's a chariot driver, and so since second declension people can't be plural, there's only one of them, it must be a genitive. Aurigae, well, this AE can be all sorts of things. One thing it cannot be is a nominative plural, because my verb here is a singular. So I'm down to it being a dative or it being a genitive. We have this guy over here, the the name of the chariot driver in the genitive, why don't we have the word chariot driver in the genitive of the chariot driver, Metiscus? All right, kurum. This comes from a word you don't know. It's in your notes. Kurus. It's a fourth declension, but kurum has to be accusative. Et equos. Oh, os. That's an easy one. And Laura is in the notes as well. Laura comes from the verb lorum. It's a neuter. Neuter plural here. Again, it can't be nominative for the same reason that arigai couldn't be nominative. It has to be accusative. So she, the soror, the sister, is doing something. She's regabating three things. Just buzzing right along. Talibus dictis is actually given to us as an ablative of manner. So talibus and dictis. Hoc, I recognize, comes from the same place as hic, and this is totally an ablative form here. And then torne, we don't see a second declension end with E very often. There's only one form. It's the vocative form. It's when I'm calling attention to somebody. We don't talk about it very often because for most of the time, other than the second declension, the vocative looks a lot like the nominative. So if I'm yelling to the sister, I would say soror. But if I'm yelling at Turnus, I say turne. Sequamor. Troy eugenos, I recognize as an accusative. This is an easy one. Qua could come from qui quae quad, but here it is being used as an adverbial where, thanks to my notes, prima, it's an adjective. So I might want to find the thing that it's talking about. Victoria. Victoria comes from first declension. Victoria's got to be. And so prima must go together. And then weam is easy. And there we go. Now I have everything. I've got all of my verbs. I got some I have a participle. I have all my nouns and my pronouns identified. Now I have a visual representation of the structure of the sentence. I'm going to take this information and I'm going to shoot it on over to my translation sheet, which has the notes. And so, quick, to this one, to him, into the appearance, the sister having been changed. Okay, the sister having been changed into the appearance of Metiscus, the chariot driver. Oh, look at all these ets, quae, et, and et. That's a superfluous use of the conjunction. This is a fancy thing called polysyndeton. So, what is the sister doing after she changed, having been changed into his shape? This is something Juturna can do. She has the ability to shapeshift, I suppose, or put on costumes. I'm not exactly sure how she's doing it. Regibat. Well, that's given to us down here. Rego, rexi, rectus. To keep straight, to guide, direct, or rule. How about guide? Was guiding the chariot and the equos and the lora, the things that you use to control in equos. Talibus dictis is given to us as an ablative of manner. She occurrits, so she meets him with these words. So she says, hac turne, and hac is given to us. There's something missing here. We would say, by this way. Speaking to Turnus, come on, Turnus. Sequamor. We have a hortatory subjunctive. Let us do this. Where, qua, prima victoria. So this is weird. Is it first victory? What if we put first later? Where victory first, pandits, is given to us as unfolds. Where victory first unfolds the way, the road, the path. It also could be past tense. We could also say it's possible that it's where victory first unfolded the way. I actually think I like that better. Right. So what is Juturna saying? Let's keep chasing the Trojans off the field. We're already here. Let's just keep chasing them. But wait, you might say, what about their home? Passage 5. She continues speaking. Sunt alii qui tecta manu defendere possunt. Ingruit Aeneas Italis et proelia miscet, et nos saevamanu mitamas funera tucris, nec numero inferior pugnae, neque honore recedes. So this dagger here, right, means that it's a reconstructed line because we're missing it. There is something strange going on with this syllable in here, but we'll get back to it when we do that line. So it looks like it should be this. And then we would make it like that. Remember, dactyls and spondees, they both begin with long syllables, but this is not a long syllable. So something is going on with these two syllables in here. So in order to kind of figure out what's going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where I'm sure, and then I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to backtrack now and come up from the other side. So now we have three syllables in this foot, and it looks like it should be this, this, and this, but that doesn't exist for our purposes. So what we need to do is we need to treat this long as a short in order to fit the meter. It's not that we missed any elisions, and it's not that we missed any diphthongs. It's just something strange. Got ahead of myself. There's that elision again. Sunt alii qui tectamanu defendere possent, ingruit Aeneas Italis et prolia miscet, et nociva manu mitamus funera tucris, nec numer inferior pugnae nequanore recedes. There it is. Let's look for verbs. Well, sunt, right off the bat. Qui tecta manu. I have an infinitive here, and the irregular verb possent in the subjunctive. I'm going to put them both together because they go together. Ingruit is given to us in our notes. Makes a dative. That's good. Miscat, it looks like a verb. It is. It's also given to us in our notes. Et nociva mitamos. I know that one. Funera tucris nec numer inferior pugnae. And recedes is also given to us in our notes. As comes from recedo, recetere, recessi, recessis. It's like future tense. We don't see those very often. I don't see any participles. When I was going through these, nothing struck out at me as looking like it should be a verb, but with not verby endings. So now I'm going to go into, well, sunt is a plural. Alii comes from alias, meaning others. That looks like plural. Others, there are others. Okay, qui comes from qui quae quod. It refers back to the plural alii, and it happens to be a nominative here as well. Tecta is glossed first. It comes from the word tectum. So this is plural. It's plural neuter, by the way. Qui is plural masculine. So these do not agree. Therefore, tecta must be accusative. Manu, that's an easy one to identify with that long U. It's got to be ablative. Done with a sentence. There are others who possent defendere the tecta with their manu. Ingruit Aeneas. Okay, so here's the thing about Aeneas. He's got a weird name. That is his nominative form, Aeneas. Ingruit must take a dative as its object. So Aeneas ingruits the Italies, and he's miscating the proilia. So again, proilia comes from proilium, it's a neuter. Here it's a plural accusative. And what else is he doing? Nos. Well, nos can be nominative or accusative. We look at the verb and we see mitamos. So nos must be nominative because we are the ones doing it. Saiwa. Well, saiwa comes from an adjective. It'd be weird. It can't be nominative. We are nominative. We can't saiwa. We can't be neuter plurals because people are never neuter. So let's find what's going on here. So saiwa, manu. I'm going to ignore saiwa for just a second. Manu, we just had this word up there, so he's repeating himself. Funera. There's that word. Funera and saiwa look like they probably go together. And they do. Funera is given to us as a neuter noun, meaning funeral or death. We are sending savage funerals to the Teucers with our hand. Oh, I like that juxtaposition, right? There are others who can defend our homes with their hand. We are going to kill a bunch of Trojans with our hand. Nec numero. Well, that long O can be dative or ablative. And I don't see anything in here that looks very dative-y to me. So inferior. Looks like a nominative. The eor looks like a nominative ending. Pugnae. Well, it could be nominative plural. We look at the verb and we see it ain't nominative plural. So it's either dative or it's either dative or genitive. To the fight or of the fight. I'm going to hang on for a second. I'm not going to gloss that one right quite yet because I'm not sure. And honore. Not sure what this one is yet. Is it dative or is it genitive? More or less having identified everything, I'm going to shove this on over to the other screen with the notes and everything so that we can actually translate this. Sunt alii, right? Are others. We can say there are others. It's okay to tell me more about these others. Qui tecta manu defendere possunt. Who possunt, who are able. We have a potential subjunctive, who may be able to defend, who ought to be able, I suppose. We had some sort of potential thing going on. To defend the tecta. Tecta normally means roof, roofs here, I suppose. But by extension, we can mean it to mean houses. And how are they defending it? With their hand. I guess we would probably say, English would say their hands. By their hands. Ingruit Aeneas Italis et poile misce. So we'll just go to the first three words. Ingruit Aeneas Italis. So Aeneas is given to us as attacking or rushing into, assailing. It needs a dative. And what else is Aeneas doing? He's miscating. He's throwing into confusion. What is he throwing into confusion? The battles. Aeneas, just by the fact that he is on the battlefield, is making things difficult for the Italians. Okay. And nos. And we. Mitamus. We have another hortatory subjunctive here. Let us send. What are we going to send? We're going to send savage funerals, savage death to the Teucers. How are we going to do it? With our hand. I love that juxtaposition there. It's very nice. He calls them Teucrians instead of Trojans. It's just one of the things that he likes to do in order to show how learned he is. He calls them the people of Teucer. He and his descendants founded Troy and the areas around it. So, the Teucrians. Now, we left something off the table for a minute, so let's see if we can figure out what is going on. Nec, numero, nec. So neither in number. Ooh, ablative is a specification modifying inferior. So neither inferior in number nor inferior in honor. Recedes comes from withdraw or fall back. Recedes, it's got an S, so you will draw back, you will withdraw neither inferior in number nor inferior in honor to or for the fight of the battle, of the fight. That's got to be genitive here. I'm going to go ahead and that makes more sense to me. Neither lesser in numbers nor in honor of battle. Is that a convincing argument for Turnus? Is he going to continue on fighting in order to completely wipe the Trojans off the battlefield? Or is his duty to his homeland going to override his good senses and Juturna's advice? I guess we'll find out in the next couple of passages. Bye.